welcome back. There's a live look outside on the Oregon coast. Really pretty view there from our Inn at Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Okay, it's common for friends to get in a fight from time to time, but it's not always easy to find a friendship, to fix a friendship afterwards. So here with tips to help mend that bond, we welcome back personal growth strategist and author of Building Your Village, Florence and Romano. It's great to see you.
Hi, my friend. Good to see you.
I love talking about friendship topics with you because as adults, sometimes we forget that we have to prioritize our friendships. That's good for us too.
It is. It's kind of like the oxygen mask on a plane. You put that on and it's a really important part of life, but just like any relationship, sometimes there are bumps, sometimes there are breakups, and you have to pay attention to your relationships and tend to them.
So let's talk about you've got a friend, you've had a misstep, maybe a fight, a disagreement, something happens. First step is take a breath and take a step back.
Yes, take a step back and understand the root cause. We talk a lot here about diagnosing a problem. In order to really understand what's going on, you have to diagnose it first. So what really happened? And allowing yourself to also know that you may be at fault too. You might be culpable, and that's sometimes difficult for us to do. So that introspection, that self-reflection is the first thing you're going to do before you're going to take the next step of actually approaching the friend.
Okay, so when you're ready to open the door again and begin communication, we need honesty and non-judgment. We've got to listen to.
Yes, and like I always like to say, you can say what you mean and not say it mean, because oftentimes, there can be some heated elements to the breakdown of this friendship in that moment. And so you want to be able to approach it and say, I'm coming to you because I want to fix this. And I want both of us to be honest about what went wrong and not play the blame game or tit for tat necessarily. But let's just say that we're both going to give each other grace and understanding.
And when you approach it that way, it gives more room for both parties to be vulnerable and really say what you mean, because sometimes it's just hard to really express yourself, your true emotions.
Absolutely. And during that conversation, sometimes you're going to learn, or you hope that you're going to learn more about what that person was thinking during that exchange, allowing them to explain maybe how they were processing it, or maybe something you said, the delivery of it was taken the wrong way and it spiraled. Allowing again that grace and that understanding during that conversation. So hopefully what you can do is repair.
Which a sincere apology goes a long way. It can be hard to say, but it really does make a big difference.
It does. And sometimes it takes more than one apology. And no one wants to admit that. Sometimes, depending on who it was that has, more culpability there, sometimes you are going to have to address it more than once, and sometimes show by actions that you really do want to repair. And it's not always on the first chance that person can necessarily hear you or be receptive to it.
Yeah, time does help heal depending on the scenario. Sometimes you do need a little bit extra time to give yourself that space. So let's talk about when you want to rebuild that trust. Where do you start? How does that process work?
It takes time and it takes effort. Trust, it was one of the things my mom would talk about the most growing up. She would say, once you lose my trust, that's real hard to get back. And that scared me as a child. From doing a lot of things wrong because I didn't want to lose my mom's trust. But that's the same in all of our relationships. When there's a betrayal of some kind, big or small, you do have to work to get that trust back. And establishing that trust in each other and creating boundaries and being consistent with your actions, showing that you're reliable and dependable, those things don't happen overnight. And understanding also too that when you're creating boundaries within that conversation of rebuilding trust, it's not you saying, I don't trust you, so you have to have this boundary. It's, I'm fighting for this relationship, so I'm creating this boundary so we do have a chance to repair.
Okay, that's a great way to look at it. So let's talk about, we've got about a minute left, focusing on moving forward and looking at the future, not harping on the past over and over and over again.
No, one of the worst things you can do is keep playing that, that same, I was about to say cassette tape. How old is that?
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, not cassette tape. But I'm going to use this as an example because I think it's funny now that I said cassette tape. You make a mixtape when you were younger. Oh my gosh, like the young people are like 4 or 5 things right now. You'd have to tape over that cassette tape with something else. That's kind of what this is. You're agreeing to tape over what happened before. It doesn't mean you necessarily forget that it happened, but if you keep holding that over your friend's head in any way, then you're really not repairing. And you actually need to look at that from your point of view of, do I really want to have this relationship with this person, or am I looking to hurt this person? Am I seeking revenge? Not the right thing. And then clearly this is not the right relationship for you, and it would be best for you probably just to both walk away from it.
And sometimes that's okay too. Hey, it was great to see you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, and I hope this doesn't ever happen to you in your life. But if it does, we have the tools.
It's okay. We'll get through it together because I have you to help me out. The book again is Build Your Village, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com.